First thing I did was to load in the Genio file of the data using the RMS customization using the map file, so you can see what's going on here. But then some of the lines are deliberately thick like this, so as to not be too confused, I went into the toggle and turned off the line styles. Makes it all a bit simpler. Then identify the strings that you want to measure between. Now I'm hoping I've got this right, but I'm thinking it's this red string here, which is the edge of the carriageway. This looks like a verge string behind it, and the closest string on the central barrier. So what I did is I went into strings, strings edit, and change, because I'm going to make those strings magenta, and I'm going to give them a weight of 3. I actually set this up and set it as a default. I did that by clicking on here and making a default and saving the default to the current folder. So every time I open this panel, it comes up set up this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose that string there and make it magenta. I'm going to choose that guy there the same, that guy there the same, and what I'm doing is just picking and middle click to accept. Bit of an issue here. It looks like there's a couple of strings there. I think we'll go with the second of the two, enter to confirm. That's made those strings magenta. And picking and accepting here. Scrolling on down the job, we can see we've got a bit of color here, but this edge line stops just here, so we'll start with the next one and enter to confirm. So it's easy to see because it's nice and thick and it's magenta, the lines that I've chosen. Working on down here. That one's okay. Another one here. Probably that one would be a good contender. We've already got that one. So working through the job, making as many of them as I can figure out to be magenta. What's going on down here? Once again, you've got probably this string. He's pretty short, but there's the one right next to it, and so on. So once I've done that, finished there, we've got these magenta strings. Now so far so good, but the difficulty is that the strings that we've created are not continuous. If I use the F2 button to bring up string inquire, and look in here, there's one string and it stops just here, you can see, and clicking again on the southern side to highlight the thing, I want those to be joined. Now we could join them manually, but with the first pass we'll let 12D join them for us. Under utilities, H to Z, head to tail, it's just off the screen, but trust me, head to tail, we will filter the data. I don't want to head to tail all the strings in the job. We'll filter it on a couple of criteria. Firstly, it has to be on the screen. And the view I'm looking for is design, and the only model that's on this view is the design M4 East option 3. So that's the way to go. Also under string info, it has to be a magenta string. I'm not interested in the other colors, and it has to have a type of string. It needs to be a superstring. That way we won't get the alignment strings. So filter select, and it's found 25 things from the one model. I'm going to copy them into a new model called edge strings, and we'll process that. Okay, finish that. We'll take off the screen, we'll take off the M4 East option 3, we'll add on the edge strings, and there they are, and you can see that they still have gaps in them, but they're joined up. The ones that could be joined have been joined. We've got a continuous string that runs through there, and then there's a gap. So the manual process starts now. We're going to strings edit, join, and just to see what I've done, I'm going to make the joined strings a different color again. We'll go for green this time, and I'll go start, picking with direction, click, drag the mouse, release the left mouse button, and accept, click, drag it in that direction, release and accept. That joins them together. And if it's green, it's now continuous. Going to come down here. Now we don't have a curve here. I could mess around with extending the curve, but I'm not. I'm just going to join that one and accept to that one and accept, and undo that one. Accept that one and accept. Now just to break my heart, that's set the thing to be a different color. Strings can have different colors in different parts of it, so we'll just move on. Starting again, what have we got here? There's one string there. The next part to join is down here. So I'll join that, accept to that, and accept. Not quite the join we wanted, but we could trim, we could get rid of the other parts. So working through, joining the things up, I'm not sure what we should do here, perhaps join that one to that one. And that's given me a continuous string all the way through. So joining them all together in that way, we've got the edge strings, we've got the center strings and the edge strings. So join them up. Then the time comes to create the files, the change and offset files. So for this, I'm going to add on my alignment string. So to do our change and offset measuring, I need to choose the alignment string that is going to deliver me the changes. So I've added the alignment strings, the M strings to the view, and a string inquire here gives me an MC00. Now we could use the MCNL, we could use any of the strings here, MCNT and so on, but my knowledge, MC10, my knowledge of MX designers suggests that the MC00 is the master control string that we should be using. So I'll be using that. Now the command I'm going to use to extract the change and offset and the name it goes like this. It's under File, it's under Data Output, and it's XYZ, and it's XYZ, new change offset. So the data we're going to write is just one string to start with. It's that string. No, it's not. Here are my edge strings. It's that string. We're going to take that LE04 string. The output file, type in LE04. Number of decimals, well, I reckon 3 is a great number. The default for null, NULL, that'll do us. So we'll use a centerline string, yes we will, and the centerline string is, as before, MC00. We're reporting at centerline changes every 20 meters down the centerline. Whoops. Close but no cigar. We want the regular interval, and we want every 20 meters, and the change reference is 0. That is, you could start at change 14 and get 34 and 54 and so on, but we'll start at 0, change reference. The position, what I'm going to have is a delimited file, absolutely. The name is going in column 1, that's the code for the string. The centerline change is going in column 2, and the centerline offset in column 3. And if I write that file, if I come back to the general, I can open this in Notepad. There's the name, there's the change, and there's the offset. Now there's a tick box here that I should have ticked on, which is include column names. If I run that again and replace the file, now the file looks a little bit like this. And you can see you've got the string name, centerline change, centerline offset. Now Control A to highlight that, Control C to copy that, back to X, and Control V, and there's your file of changes and offsets. Now you'll need to repeat that with each of the 4 strings. You'll only have 4, and you can line them up in columns here. And once you've done that, the rest is up to you. You can clearly see that this is negative offset is to the left of the center line, change 40 and the string name, and then subtract one number from another, and you'll get the carriageway width. Now the tip that I would have is, because this is likely to change again, back to 12D for a second, and I just dump it, and I'm going to call this LE04 and dump it. Now the reason I do that is because if I've filled the thing out already, if I want to run LC04 again, I can simply go into File, I can go Layouts, I can go Layout Input, and you can see I've been here a couple of times, bring back my LE04, and it comes up filled out exactly the way that I left it. So it may be that it's a different string. I could go and pick a different, I could choose this guy. That's continuous, that's not pretty. Okay, we'll go to here to start with. There we go. And I can write that, and that won't be LE04, that will be CDAU. CDAU, and right. I've been here already. Let's replace that one, and once again we can open that up, and there's my CDAU file. Now, as I said, this string here, a string inquire here, highlights that it's a continuous string. I don't think that's going to be a happy situation. What I'll do is I'll come in here and just using the split command, which is just here, we'll go, it's got to be that one. Choose the string to split, that guy there. Choose the point where it's split, that point there. And now if I string inquire, we'll have one string and another string.